All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Thursday, May 9th. We have two NBA playoff games on today's slate. In this video, we're going to be jumping into the Celtics and Cavs game number 2. I'm going to give you my lean on the spread. I'll give you my lean on the total. We'll talk about any player props that we like within the game as well. I have 2 of them as of right now. But as always, guys, keep an eye on the pinned comment for all of my final plays. That is where I'm actually rolling with myself and betting myself. Those plays will live there broken out and listed out very simply for you guys if you do want to fade me. So go ahead and check that out. In terms of last night, in game number 2 for the Knicks and Pacers game, we split the game. We had Jalen Brunson under 8.5 assists. Does his injury help that cash? Sure, but he did come back. And we had Pascal Siakam's under 7.5 boards. He soars over there as we lose that one. So a 1-1 night, nothing to cry about. But yeah, that's 2 now because technically 1-1, we lose a little bit off the top. That's 2 negative nights in a row in the NBA playoffs. So let's try and get back on the winning streak here today. The vibe does change for the better, and I mean for the damn better when we have Mollywop here with the ride of the day from yesterday. Obi Toppin over 10.5 points. This is a plus 124 play on FanDuel at the time of, me riding with it, and he goes for 20 points. We'll abuse the soundboard for that. Shout out to Mollywop. Obi Toppin mollywopped that line. Really, really good look. If you guys don't know what the ride of the day is, all you have to do is use hashtag ride of the day in the comments. I'm jumping on board with one person's pick, giving you a shout out in the next video, win or loss. And if you win, we continue to ride with you. So very, very excited to see what Mollywop comes up with today. I mean, what an absolute banger of a play. A plus money hit over there on Obi Toppin. So shout out to you, my man. Let's see what you got today. But yeah, like I said, we have a couple plays that I'm liking. We'll start it off with the spread here. This is a weird one, to be honest, because the Celtics, like that 13.5, you guys keep roasting me in the comments because I'm a Celtics fan, yet I haven't been able to bring myself to betting on the Celtics, minus 11.5, minus 12.5, minus 13, because it seems like it's such a high number, but I can't help but lean that way today. There has not been a team or a game so far in the playoffs other than game 2 against Miami, in which any of these, teams, and I say any of them, all 2 of them, have looked like they can even compete with the Celtics, Kristaps Porzingis or not. It's crazy. So I will lean Celtics minus the 13.5 points today. I think Jared Allen is also listed as questionable, but not in the expected starting lineup today. So we'll keep an eye on that. That obviously is a huge piece to the Cavs' success if it were to be, if they were to have a successful playoff run here, Jared Allen being the anchor of that defense. But if he doesn't play, then hell yeah, I don't mind the minus 13.5 because that 13.5 seems like it's actually like a 4.5 point spread to the Celtics the way that they've been playing. Like if you look at these recent games in the playoffs, right? Miami, and talking wins, not the loss. Obviously, that wasn't a great win, right? Because they lost. But Miami, game number 1, 114-94. Game number 3, 104-84. Game number 4, 102-88. Game 5, 118-84. And then game 1 in this series, 120-95. Like, I can't help but say this 13.5 it almost isn't enough. We get to the question of, are your cojones big enough to drop them on the table and say, hey, we're pretty much saying go win by 15? We'll see. But I do lean Celtics minus the points today. I like the over as well. We've been cashing these Celtics overs when we do pull the trigger in the last couple games here, so we do like to see that. And 212, if the Celtics continue to go out there and give you, 115 and beyond, which they did so far in their playoff games, they've played 6 of them, right? They've done that in half of them, and they scored 100 plus in each of them. I do think that, a 212 spot, the Celtics continue to do what they do. I don't mind it. And we have yet to see sort of a Jason Tatum takeover game, right? Like if that happens, I definitely see this kind of ramping up because if Jason Tatum starts to go off, his buddy Donovan Mitchell is going to try and go off as well, which Mitchell's been kind of trying to go off every single playoff game to begin with. So give me the Celtics minus the points as well as the total going over here. Now, let's jump into a couple player props here. Before we do that, I do want to, a little self-promo here. We have a new show coming to the channel, which is I'm super, super excited about. Coming out today at 12 p.m. is the self-titled Ev Singleton Show. I react to a bunch of your voicemails. It's more of I would say, a podcast format type of a video, but if you do want to check that out, again, it's going to be right here on the channel, 12 p.m. premiere Eastern time. If you want to go show that some love, I would greatly greatly appreciate it. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the player props here. We're over on Outlier, as always. Outlier, link in the pinned comment, another promotion there. You get 7 days free of my favorite player prop research tool. But first one's going to be Derek White under 1.5 turnovers here. He's cashed the under in 8 of his last 10 games and in 14 of his last 20, which we like to see. So far in the playoffs, he's been looking really good as well. Only in that game number, I think game number 1. Yeah, game number 1, he had 3 turnovers, but the dude has been super efficient as of late. Cashed the under in 53% of games as well. And if you look at the head-to-head, there is a little, scariness, if we use that word, right? But I think that's why we're getting a really good price at -130 over on DraftKings. You can see Caesars -135, ESPN -140, BetMGM -1. So, like, as you go and look at more sportsbooks, this continues to increase. So, grabbing it at -130, I do think has some serious value. He's going to play tons of minutes. We know that. But like I said, he's been super efficient so far in the playoffs when it comes to not turning the ball over. In fact, he's had multiple games where he's not turning it over. And reason being is he's looking to score a decent amount. If Derek White's assist line was where it was, so his assist line I think is at 4.5 for plus money, right? So they're not even thinking that, books wise are thinking that he's going to land right around 3-4 assists overall. We don't want to take the under because it's super juiced. You go under 4.5. I guess it's not even super juiced, but I wouldn't necessarily put this. It is on most books actually, but I wouldn't necessarily put this into like a playable spot. But my point being is that they don't really think he's going to pass the ball all that much, and he's not necessarily like dribbling a crazy amount either. You watch these games, Derek White is a catch it and launch it because he's been on absolute fire. You know what you can't do shooting the ball? Turn the ball over. You can miss a shot. Hell, go for it if you want to. Miss as many shots as you want tonight, Derek. But I do like the under 1.5 turnovers. Second player prop here is going to be an over, and I'm going to the Cavs side of the ball. Looking at Evan Mobley over 13.5 points. 66% of games this year he has cashed. Decent against the Celtics, right? Dating back to 2022, he's hit it in 4 of his last 6 here. And what I like about this is, so even look at these 2 where he missed against the Celtics. He shot 25% and 40%. If we look at his last 20 games here, Mobley's shooting 56% from the field. So if he just has enough shot attempts, he should be able to cash this line with ease. In game number 1, he had 17 points on 67% shooting. He honestly could have missed 1 shot, taken that down to right about, just over 50% and still cash this one. So I do think that we have some room for both progression, and even if he regresses a little bit, he should be able to get to 14 points in this spot. So Evan Mobley over 13.5 points is play number 2. Best odds right now, -105 over on DraftKings, ESPN, BetMGM, even Caesars at -108. Like pretty flat odds across the boards there in terms of all the sportsbooks odds and everything like that. But guys, that is going to wrap for today's show. Like I said, lean in the Celtics minus the points, because how can you not based on how they've played? I like the over 212. Under Derek White turnovers, and then over in Evan Mobley points, because Evan is a great first name. That's my first name. Boom. But guys, it's going to wrap it up. Make sure to check out the Dallas and OKC video. That'll be posted on the channel as well. And then one last self-promo shout-out to the Ev Singleton Show, which launches today, 12 p.m. I'm really excited about this project. We've had a lot of work going into it and all that jazz. So, guys, make sure to go and check it out. Am I wearing the exact same outfit I was when I recorded that? I guess so. Catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.